So is it Konsa or is it QUANSAH? Konsa or QUANSAH? Because there's been some mixed reporting. 1 minute you're interested in one, the other. I don't know if there's been some misinterpretation between Arteta and Berta. Maybe they don't both speak the same language. One speaks Spanish, one speaks Basque. Is it Konsa? It's Konsa, it's not Kwanzaa. Konsa. Konsa. Okay, Konsa. Guys, Arsenal have signed Konsa from Aston Villa for £51 million. Just double check that. But yeah, I think they have. Listen, this is an interesting signing. This is another centre-back. I think Arteta's got a slight fetish for them. Over the years, we've found that out. He's just been adding centre-back after centre-back after centre-back. And there's actually quite a bit to break down. I've got a good point as to why I think it's a good sign and a bad point, and maybe a good point for the rivals and ourselves as to why I think, okay, maybe it's limiting in some ways. But and also I might just talk about my Aston Villa prediction on the last video because some of you didn't really like it. Okay, cool, we'll talk soon, yeah, because they're losing a few players, aren't they? We're going to talk soon. But Arsenal have signed Konsa from Aston Villa. Listen, in terms of Arteta, this is bang on the money, isn't it? Bang on the money. This guy, he does not want to even allow for a little drop-off whatsoever in terms of his defensive unit, right? Obviously, we know Saliba's out till Christmas. Timber has had injury issues. Ben White's been very injury prone. Calafiori, even before they signed him, had a really dodgy injury history. So when you put all those together, that's 4 defenders up until Christmas that you can't completely rely upon. And now he's got 8 defenders for 4 positions. So he's got Timber, White for right back. He's now got Konsa and Saliba for the right side centre-back. He's got Mascara and Gabriel, even though Mascara is more on the right side. Let's just go for numbers' sake. And then obviously Nkapie and Calafiori on the left back. Lewis Skelly's moving into midfield. So numerically, it's 8 players for 4 positions. That's not overload. That's not overkill. But sometimes the 7th or 8th is a little youth product. Maybe from a Hale end, maybe. No, you don't feel it. No, he doesn't. He doesn't feel it because what he wants is basically now no mucking about. He doesn't want anybody to even think for a second that with even an injury crisis that they could well have with those injury-prone players, that you can get at Arsenal's defence, because that is what he's built his foundation on. That is the pillar of his success, Arteta. He is not playing with that defence. And so much so, not only is he not willing to integrate any Hale-end defenders into that centre-back or right-back, which I don't know if there's any coming through, but clearly he's not interested. But he's also, in my opinion now, tripling down on combinations. He doesn't, because you know these guys are positionally versatile. We know Calafiori can play centre-back. We know Nkapie can play centre-back. We know Timber and White can play centre-back. Mascara's played right-back. They've moved around, chopped and changed with injuries last season here and there. Even Rice, I think, even played right-back for a bit. He's saying, nah, we're putting an end to that. You guys are right-backs. You guys are centre-backs. You guys are left sides. You guys are left-backs. Like, I think this signing just shuts down the versatility thing. Not that these guys aren't versatile, but I don't think he wants them to be. Because in defense, right, any title-winning team, any team that goes on to win major trophies, you're not really chopping and changing your defenders, even in different positions, because the angles of the game changes. The relationship with your partner, your chemistry changes. In terms of a right back, you have a relationship with your right winger, your right side centre back. You move to right side centre back, now you got to start conversing and conversating with the left side centre back. Like, it changes. And those slight, minute tinkers and tweaks could cost goals, could cost clean sheets. And I know they all laugh and joke and they thought they were going to beat the Chelsea, 15 goals conceded record and whatnot. But that is basically what they would like to do. That's what they would like to aim to do. Obviously, I don't think it will get done. But Arteta is doubling, tripling, quadrupling down on that defense. He loves it. Yeah, you can tell he was managed by David Moyes at Everton. He ain't no normal Spaniard. He ain't no normal Spaniard. He is Basque. He's a different breed. That's quite interesting to me. So I think Konsa probably goes into the starting 11. I don't think you sign Konsa at 28, 51 million pounds. I think it's decent, fair value for money. He is obviously a bit in his late 20s. But again, I don't subscribe to this, oh, he's too old, 51 million pounds for a 28-year-old. I don't know if that conversation is going around. I know it was going around for Bruno Guimaraes, but this is another sign that just goes to prove again that Arsenal are in the win now territory, to the point where they're taking key players, starters from Champions League level Aston Villa, who's an absolute abomination to not have in the top 6, right? Because of back-to-back qualifications, and they're taking him to make him a depth piece, to make him a backup, basically. Because when Saliba comes back, he ain't starting. I would wonder if there were conversations when agreeing with him that if Saliba does come back, you could still potentially start at right back, which we know we've seen Konsa play there as well, just to kind of give him a little bit more confidence that he's still going to play. Because again, he's looking to still make England's squad. So I don't think he wants to be completely out of the picture in the starting 11 once Saliba comes back. But he is a bench player, effectively. And yeah, playing for your England place whilst being a bench player is quite difficult. But yeah, so I think from an Arsenal perspective, you guys would be happy maybe with the sign. I know some of you are not happy to be reallocating funds to a defender once again, £51 million for another defender. But like I've just broken it, and initially my reaction was like, what the hell are they doing? My reaction when I saw this earlier, like a few weeks ago, I was like, what are they doing? They don't need more centre backs. But then when you really break it down as we have here, they kind of do need just one more. Mascara, maybe he doesn't fully trust him. He played right back a bit as well. I think Mascara's got potential. But again, maybe he wants more Prem proven. He wants someone more reliable. Again, he doesn't want to play games with his defense. But because of that left back situation with Calafiori and Nkapie, Lewis Skelly moving, maybe one of these guys, whether it's Konsa or Mascara, could be a left side centre back as well in potential lineups if Gabriel picks up a knock or if he needs a rest. So they're playing in 4 competitions. They got a lot of games, cup games. He clearly wants to attack everything. I think, yes, some people shamelessly said, 5 trophies in 7 years. Scrap the 3 community shows, it's 2 trophies in 7 years. He needs to rack up trophies. I think Arteta, Berta, Arsenal, they're very aware that, yes, everybody has them as head and shoulders, favourites for the Premier League. Champions League, they got to the semi-final, lost to PSG, got to the final, lost to PSG. Cups, okay, lost the final to Man City. I hate to say it, and it pains me to say it, but Arsenal are in a position right now where they're trying to win as much as they can. They're trying to pick up multiple honours a season, not just one. Because whilst you're in this position to potentially win and, God forbid, dominate, we don't want that. You got to take advantage. You don't want to look back at this era, look at this timeline and think, we didn't maximize our situation. We didn't maximize our opportunities, because these other big clubs that are going through transitional seasons, they will come back. They will settle down with their managers and with their squads and rebuilds and whatnot. So this is Arsenal's perfect opportunity to capitalize. I don't think it's copium, but one thing that I would say for us and for the rivals that we can take maybe some solace from is that this is another centre-back that can play right back, but it's not a right back that can go and overlap on Saka. I think the best we saw from Saka is when Ben White was overlapping, giving him option on the outside and allowing him to kind of have support and to not feel like he has to take on 2 players, or Odegaard has to come over and be really conservative and really mature and be the teacher's pet and play these really, planned out, mapped out passes. And don't get me wrong, there's definitely synergy and chemistry over there in terms of, the little triangles and whatnot. But I feel like this was maybe a missed opportunity to just, if you're trying to get a better attack, there's multiple ways you can do that. I mentioned Wanyeri. He looks like he's going out on loan for Madueke. Left back Calafiori goes far forward, gets goals, what a finish against City. That's another way to improve the attack without actually talking about the said attackers. Obviously, Arteta, loosening the reins, playing more transitional, more counter-attacking, or getting the ball forward faster. Another way to improve the attack without bringing in new players. But another position is right back. I know this whole Timber, Reece James, bloody blah, but everybody knows that Timber is not a patch on Reece James going forward in terms of the crossing, in terms of the passing, in terms of the creation. He's just not. Right? He's decent, but he's not an attacking right back. He's a lockdown right back. Ben White, injury issues. Never really seen him overlap ever again. Konsa going in there, Mascara going in there. Again, it's more centre-backs at right back. You're just never going to get that Saka overlap. I don't think it's by accident. I don't think it's by mistake. But it's solace to take for us that, okay, with Arsenal's right-hand side, they're doing basically the same thing they've done. They're not going to give a Saka that has been kind of dragged through the mud, could maybe do with some support, could do with some more help, because of the injuries and the niggles and knocks, to give him that overlap. And I'm not saying that player has to start. I'm not saying Arsenal have to completely break their defensive structure and switch it all up. But I'm saying you could have maybe got a right back that isn't a centre back. You have Ben White, Timber that can play centre back, and you just give yourself an option of having someone, even in the last 20 minutes of games, that can overlap, that can whip in across, that can carry the ball, that can dribble. Just something different, just to give yourself something else. But he's tripling down. Hey ho, it is what it is. Another thing, Aston Villa. So that's on Arsenal. Pros, cons. Aston Villa. Aston Villa is an interesting one because a lot of people didn't like the fact that I had them outside the top 6. They've now lost Konsa. They've lost Tielemans. They've lost Rodgers. Watkins is linked with a move to Saudi. Martinez was linked with a move to Juventus. They went and got a different goalkeeper. I think it was Vicario for cheaper. They didn't want to pay. But Martinez is clearly being shopped about. Is this not the signs of a team that's being broken up right now? Aston Villa looking like they're being, decompartmentalized. I don't think that's the word for it, but you get what I'm saying. Aston Villa don't look like a team, and I know it's unpopular because they've made Champions Leagues consistently. Emery's a very good manager, but don't forget, Emery can snap. Emery can lose it in a presser or a post-match interview. I don't really get the sense that his team's getting stronger. It looks like he's getting significantly weaker. And going into a season with Champions League where you've got multiple competitions again to take on, you're not playing Europa League like last year, it ain't going to be easy. And that's why I kind of brought them down a peg or two. Unless I see Aston Villa go in and that defense, Torres, cool. Mings is injury prone, Lindelof injury prone, and no one's going to tell me that Mings and Lindelof are 30 centre-backs for Champions League. Tielemans, okay. Onana's injured, I think, with Belgium. I don't know how long he's injured, but he's missing. Tielemans is gone now, so you've got the Kamaras, Barkleys, etc. But again, it's not mad. And then we go into attacking midfield. You've lost Rodgers. Are they looking at getting Jackson? Yes. If they replace Jackson with Watkins, I can tell you for a fact you're not going to get anywhere near as clinical in terms of Watkins in comparison to Jackson. I thought Jackson as a kind of second striker to Watkins would be quite exciting because he creates chances and he creates chaos and he he dribbles, he carries. But if you're playing him up front as a fulcrum, the focal point of the attack instead of Watkins, yes, he's younger and Watkins is getting on a bit, and he was kind of indifferent last season, very slow start. You're not getting a better finisher than Watkins. And then Garnacho, need I say more? So I'm piecing it all together. I'm saying, I'm not going to just, make any assumptions that Aston Villa are just going to be honky-dory. I'm not putting them in any disrespectful positions to say 7th and 8th with Champions League football. Like I said, I gave them a cup, but keep an eye on Aston Villa. So, yeah, but I think this definitely, finally to wrap up, definitely spells the end of Lewis Skelly playing at left back. It's clearly Calafiori and Hincapié. Lewis Skelly will go into midfield. 2 positions, 4 players. Again, Rice, bringing in Rice, Zubimendi, and Lewis Skelly. So it looks like Arteta's basically, as most managers would in this situation, 2 players for each position. That rounds off the defense. Will they go and get an attacker? Let's see. But again, 2 positions for each, 2 players for each position. Martinelli and Zolis are 2 players for 1 position at left wing. Saka and Madueke are 2 players for 1 position at right wing. Obviously, Dalman, but he's 16, 17, whatever it is. Then Eze, Odegaard, 2 players for 1 position in the 10. And then 2 players, 1 position for Havertz and Gyökeres. And obviously, Jesus is there. And then Mikel Merino is just kind of sprinkled in as like this extra kind of guy that covers multiple positions. So Arsenal's business could be done today. Could be finished. Could be done. God willing, hopefully. We pray. Could be done today. So, yeah. That would be nice if it was, because fuck me, bro. That's enough. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Big up your damn selves. In a bit, people. Peace.